a very wealthy and experienced merchant, carrying 4 heavy bags full of jewels and precious pearls tied around his waist, was riding a magnificent horse on a trading journey. His destination was a distant city's market, where he intended to sell these pearls and buy goods for trade. The pearls and jewels were extremely valuable, and their shine and brilliance often brought him joy, as they were the reason he was regarded as a successful merchant. However, fate had something else in store. During his journey, he suddenly lost his way and found himself in the vast desert. He had an abundance of wealth, but there was almost no food or water. He had a small bottle of water with only a little left. As soon as he entered the scorching desert, his thirst became unbearable, and he drank the last drop of water. Traveling on the hot sand was too much for his horse, and soon, exhausted and parched, he fell on the desert's sand and began to struggle. The merchant left his horse behind and set off on foot with his bags. The burning sun and hot sand scorched his feet, but his will to survive kept him going. As he walked, he suddenly saw a large thorny bush, behind which there was a shadow like an oasis in the desert. He reached the bush and sat in its shade, taking a moment of relief. He opened the bags of valuable pearls, took the shimmering jewels in his hands, and gazed at them. These were the same pearls that always made him feel proud and happy, but today their brilliance seemed to fade. The pearls felt like useless stones. He wished that these sparkling pearls could somehow turn into wheat grains, so that he could eat and satisfy his hunger. He had immense wealth, but it was useless in the face of hunger and thirst. The sun was setting, and the heat from the day slowly began to cool down. But the merchant was still weak and despairing. The wealth was still with him, but the essential needs of life, water and food, were far out of reach. Exhausted from thirst, he began to dig around the bush. Suddenly, he felt soft, damp sand beneath him. The slight moisture and softness of the sand brought him some happiness. He quickly began digging, hoping to find something that could quench his thirst. However, the roots had almost no moisture, but it was still something. While his thirst was somewhat relieved, hunger began to worsen. His body grew weaker, and when night fell, and the first rays of the sun appeared, the merchant decided he had to end this desert ordeal before the sun reached its peak. However, as he ventured deeper into the desert, he realized the desert seemed endless. It was a vast plain with no sign of life in sight. The heat began to intensify again, and the sand began to burn. Thirst and hunger began to take a toll on him. The bags of jewels that had once been a symbol of pride were now a burden. He took out each bag and looked at the precious jewels, but now they held no value. In desperation to lighten his load, he threw the largest bag into the sand. His heart felt a momentary pain, but his mind told him that pearls cannot quench thirst or satisfy hunger. He walked a few steps further, leaving another bag behind. He felt lighter, but still driven by an uncontrollable desire for the third bag. When he threw the last bag away, there was no regret or sorrow on his face. He had now realized that in the face of life's challenges, wealth holds no value. He had forgotten about the pearls and was now solely focused on surviving. Under the scorching sun, as he walked across the hot sand, memories of his past began to surface. He remembered when he was the proud owner of a valuable store in the city's busy market, where he sold silks, jewels, perfumes, and priceless items. Many people visited his store, but when a poor customer came, he looked down on them, refused to speak with them, and even mocked their torn clothes. He never realized that the wealth he boasted about was a gift from Allah. Now, as he suffered from hunger, the faces of the poor people he had insulted came back to haunt him. His heart filled with regret, and he quietly said, "I wish I had shown mercy to these people. I wish I had accepted their prayers." As he recalled this, tears flowed from his eyes. He fell to the ground in a state of prayer, calling out to Allah with a trembling voice, "O my Lord, I was proud of your blessings. I humiliated your people, belittled them, and mocked their suffering. Now that I am close to death from hunger, I realize their pain. Allah, forgive me. I sincerely repent. If you save me from this ordeal, I will dedicate all my wealth to serving your people." He understood now that true wealth lies in kindness, humility, and service to others, not in gold, silver, or pearls. He thanked Allah for the 4 bags of pearls, but now he only wished for a single bag of wheat grains, so that he could survive the agony of hunger. As he prayed with all his heart, a miracle occurred. He looked up and saw a cluster of trees on the horizon. He made his way towards them, and when he reached the small oasis in the middle of the desert, He found fresh, cool, sweet water flowing from a spring. The merchant drank from the spring, and instantly, the dryness of his lips was relieved, and he felt life returning to his veins. Yet his stomach was still empty. His hunger intensified. Just then, his eyes fell on a bag lying some distance away. He was shocked to see that it was the same bag he had thrown into the desert. With trembling hands, he picked it up, untied the string, and whispered a prayer to Allah. "O my Lord, if these are truly pearls, please turn them into wheat grains." When he opened the bag, his face lit up with joy. Instead of pearls, it was filled with wheat and barley grains. He praised Allah repeatedly and realized for the first time the true meaning of wealth. True wealth is not gold, silver, or pearls, but the things that sustain life. The merchant returned to his city after surviving the desert ordeal, but he was no longer the same man. Though he appeared to be the same merchant, his heart and mind had completely changed. His pride was replaced with humility, and the display of wealth was replaced with a spirit of service to others. He no longer hoarded wealth for himself, but shared it with the poor, orphans, and the needy. He opened his grand home to everyone, rich or poor. His store became not just a place of business, but a center for helping others. He often told people, whether rich or poor, 2 meals a day are enough. True wealth is what benefits others. Gold, silver, and pearls are useless if they can't fill a hungry stomach. He also advised that the greed for wealth blinds a person, making them believe they can buy anything, but it is only when one is starving and thirsty that they realize the true reality. The hunger and thirst teach us the most important truth. Life's real purpose is not to collect wealth, but to bring smiles to the faces of others. This story teaches us that basic needs such as food and water are more important than all the wealth in the world. The merchant had valuable pearls, but they could not quench his thirst or feed him. This deep lesson shows that the key to life's survival is food and water, not jewels or riches. The merchant, once arrogant and self-centered, realized the value of humility, mercy, and helping others. The real wealth is not material, but in serving humanity. If you like this story, please like it, subscribe to our channel Ama Ki Kahanian, share it with your friends, and leave your valuable feedback in the comments, because love and encouragement are our true strength.